Hello students, today we are going to discuss the next part of the earthworm's physiology. So in the earlier video we have already discussed the body wall and the digestive system. In this video we are going to start with the circulation and then we will study the respiration also. So first of all, we should know about their circulatory system. That means what type of circulation this organism have. Okay. So already we know that this group of organism, that means the earthworm, is actually one species of the phylum Annelida. So annelids, this have the closed circulation. There is one exception, that is leech. Leech have open circulation. But in case of other organism in the phylum Annelida, they have the closed circulation. Okay, so first thing what we need to know, that in case of the earthworm, they have the closed circulation. Okay, so what is the meaning of closed circulation? Closed circulation means the organism have the blood that flow only inside the blood vessel. There is no open space where the blood is directly touching the tissues, or this not like that the organs are directly butted by the blood. The blood is always present inside the blood vessel. So in case of them, they have two main blood vessels. What are they? One is the dorsal blood vessel. This is the dorsal blood vessel, and another is the ventral blood vessel. So they have the two main blood vessels, that are the dorsal and the ventral blood vessel. So this is also important point, that their close circulation is by means of the blood vessel. That means only inside the blood vessel the blood flow, right? So what are those blood vessels? One is the dorsal blood vessel and the second one is the ventral blood vessel, right? So they have the two blood vessels, dorsal and the ventral. Now come to the important thing about the dorsal blood vessel and the ventral blood vessel. Okay, so first of all, we know in the earlier introduction point I have already told you that if you see the earthworm, suppose this is the earthworm, right? So in the earthworm, it is visible from the dorsal side. There is a line present, dorsal line. So what is the dorsal line actually? This dorsal line is nothing but that dorsal blood vessel. And because of this dorsal blood vessel, what happened? It is visible from the outer side also. We can see that there is a line present. So it is nothing but the dorsal blood vessel. So what is about the dorsal blood vessel? It is superficial. Isn't that superficial? Means it is coming too much closer, in close proximity towards the skin. That means it is just beneath the skin, right? It is not present somewhat beneath, embedded inside the body. It's not like that. The blood vessel is so much superficial so that we can see from outside too. So this dorsal blood vessel is the superficial blood vessel. It is the largest blood vessel. Largest means this is the widest also and longest also. So this is the largest blood vessel and it is with the valve. Okay, so in case of this blood vessel, the backflow is not allowed, okay, by means of the valves. So this way the valves are present. So how does valves actually look like? Suppose this is one blood vessel. Above that there will be one valve-like structure will be present like that. So the blood can flow in this direction. But whenever the blood try to move in this direction, this valve will close like that, right? So that's why backflow in this dorsal blood vessel is not possible. Okay. So valve are present, and because of this valve, backflow is not possible. So this is about the dorsal blood vessel. If you see the ventral blood vessel, what is this ventral blood vessel? It is somewhat beneath, isn't that? Yes, it is not superficial. It is present on the ventral side. Okay, it is not also largest, but yes, it is run from the first mouth region to the last segments. Next one, they do not have valve. Okay, remember that means this organism do not have the valves in the ventral blood vessel. And remember that this is the main distributing blood vessel. Okay, so main distributing blood vessel means what? That means this ventral blood vessel only. This is the ventral blood vessel, this one. So this ventral blood vessel only is transporting the nutrients and the gases to the different parts of the body. So this is the main distributing blood vessel, so which distribute the nutrients and the gases to the different parts of the body. That is the ventral blood vessel, remember. Okay, they don't have this valves in this ventral blood vessel, so yes, backflow is possible, right? So that is about the two blood vessels, dorsal and the ventral, but otherwise lots of other blood vessels are also present. Like this one, you can see this is one small vessel is there, okay? This one is present. Next one, these are known as actually this one is the blood vessel and this one is the another blood vessel, small, right? So this is known as the subneural vessel. Connecting this dorsal and the ventral blood vessel, we have the commissural vessels and small capillaries, they are also present, right? So blood vessels are there. This is the dorsal blood vessel, this is the ventral blood vessel, this is one another small blood vessel, this is the subneural blood vessel. To connect the dorsal with the ventral, we have the commissural vessels, these are the commissural vessels. And there is one pair of vessel present. Okay, what are they? They are the anterior loops. Okay, so apart from this dorsal and the ventral blood vessel, what we have? The subneural vessel and the anterior loop. Okay, remember that this is the anterior loop. Okay, this is another pair of blood vessel where it is present in the 10th and 11th segment. Okay, remember this one is present on the 10th and 11th segment, right? So this is the anterior loop which is present in the 10th and 11th segment of the atom. Understand? Next one, see, in case of them, do they have the heart? Yes, they have the heart. These are pulsatile also. Rhythmically, they will pump the blood. Okay. So they have how many blood pumping organ, that is the heart? They have 4 pairs of heart. Remember that they have 4 pairs of heart present, right? Where they are? What is that? This is one heart. This is another one. This is the third one. This is the fourth one. So how many heart they have? This is on one side. There will be another one pair that will be on the another side. So they have 4 pairs of hearts where they are present in the 7th and 9th, right? And in the 12th and the 13th segment, right? So the heart present on the 7th and the 9th segment, they are known as the lateral heart, right? So this 7th and the 9th segment, the heart, pair of heart present, 2 pairs of hearts are present, they are known as the lateral hearts, right? And the hearts, they are present on the 12th and the 13th segment. In the 12th and the 13th segment, what we can call it, these are known as the lateroesophageal heart, right? Remember that. So they have heart also. 4 pairs of hearts are present. They are the small tube-like structure, pocket-like structure who pump the blood, right? Where they are present on the 7th and the 9th segment. If it is present on the 7th and the 9th segment, what we can call it, they are known as the lateral hearts. And another pair, that is the 2 pairs of hearts are also present, that is on the 12th and the 13th segment. 12th and the 13th segment, what is that? That will be known as the lateroesophageal heart, right? Remember that. Now the next thing we need to know that what is the blood composed of, right? So in case of them, this blood is composed of basically the plasma, right? The fluid component, we know this is the plasma. Along with that, they have one cell is present. Okay, this is one WBC type like cell, or we can call it a phagocytic cell. Okay, a phagocytic WBC type cell, because WBC is performing phagocytosis. So one phagocytic cell is present, and in the plasma freely floating, okay, freely floating hemoglobin is present. Remember that. So in case of them, they have the hemoglobin freely floating in the plasma, right? But if you see in case of our body, our hemoglobin is found on the surface of the RBC, right? But in case of them, they don't have the RBC, okay? So they don't have the RBC who is actually transporting the gases, nutrients, that is the hemoglobin, okay? And that hemoglobin is freely floating in the plasma. Okay, they have one cell, one phagocytic cell is there that is having immunological function, that if the foreign particle enters inside their body, this phagocytic cell will capture them and remove it outside. Okay, so they have one phagocytic amoebocyte type of cell is there, WBC like cell, and in the plasma they have freely floating hemoglobin. Okay, remember that. Next thing you need to know, they have the blood glands also. What is the blood glands? Blood glands means in the 4th, 5th and 6th segment. Okay, in the 4th, 5th and the 6th segment, they have the pharyngeal blood glands. And this blood glands is actually considered to produce the phagocytic cell. It produce the WBC like cell. Okay, I have written only WBC like cell. It is the phagocytic cell itself. Okay, let me write here. Okay, WBC like cell, and it will also produce the hemoglobin. This hemoglobin, in short you can write it as HB. So they have hemoglobin like hemoglobin and WBC like cell, that is all produced by the segments 4th, 5th and 6th segment where they have the blood glands, right? So this is about the circulatory system in case of the earthworm. Remember, they have closed circulation. Yes, they have the two main blood vessels. One is the dorsal, another is the ventral. The dorsal blood vessel is the largest one, which have the valve, and backflow is prevented. In the ventral blood vessel, there is no valve present, so that's why blood flow is possible. Along with that, in that ventral blood vessel, they generally that means distribute the nutrients and the gases to the different parts of the body. Along with that, the hearts are present in the 7th, 9th, called as lateral heart, 12th and 13th segment, they are known as the lateroesophageal heart. Okay, so these hearts are present. Then the anterior loop, this is another blood vessel there that is present on the 10th and 11th segments. They have the hemoglobin freely floating in the plasma, and one amoebocyte type cell, phagocytic cell is present, which have immunological function, who fights against the foreign particle. Okay, so these are about the circulatory system of the atom. Okay, so we have completed it. Hope you have understood. Let's move to the next part, that is about the respiration. Okay, so respiration is very small, we don't have to worry. So respiratory system. So let's just start with the respiratory system. In case of the earthworm, there is no specific respiratory system present. That means in case of them, they don't have any gills or lungs. Okay, they are not present. This is the skin itself who actually perform the respiration. Okay, so they don't have any type of organs. Organs means, yes, organ is there, that is the skin who is performing the respiration. So as the skin is performing respiration, what we can say that they are going to have the cutaneous respiration. Okay, so their respiration is cutaneous type. Next thing, we need to know that how actually this respiration takes place, right? So see, first of all, suppose this is the skin. Okay, then after that, let us see here, this is suppose the blood vessel. This is the blood vessel, right? Okay, let me draw like this. Okay, so this is the blood vessel. Okay, let me draw a wider blood vessel, and these are the tissues, suppose. Okay, now just see what happened here. The process is just by diffusion. The gases enter, Okay, that means they don't have to waste energy for it. Just by the concentration differences, the gases from the higher concentration to the lower concentration diffuse into the body or outside the body. Now just see here, this blood vessel is so much superficial to their body, to their skin. Why? So that they can diffuse the gas into their body, right? So they have this hemoglobin who is transporting actually these gases. Hemoglobin is really floating in the plasma, right? Now this next hemoglobin, how they will actually help in the transportation? See, this hemoglobin which is binding with the carbon dioxide, okay, this is binding with the carbon dioxide, that is known as carbaminohemoglobin, okay, that is known as carbaminohemoglobin. So this hemoglobin who is transporting the carbon dioxide, they have higher concentration. So they have higher concentration in their body, and in the atmosphere concentration of carbon dioxide, that means partial pressure of carbon dioxide, PCO2. So PCO2 is less in the atmosphere, and inside their body PCO2 is higher. So that's why this carbon dioxide will diffuse from their body to outside. Okay, carbon dioxide is removed. If you consider the next one, that is the partial pressure of oxygen. Partial pressure of oxygen in the atmosphere is very high. So that's why this hemoglobin, after diffusing the carbon dioxide to outside, what will happen to this oxygen? This oxygen which is higher in partial pressure in the atmosphere, they will diffuse into their body. Okay, just by the concentration gradient from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration. As the partial pressure of oxygen is very less inside their body, outside they have higher partial pressure of oxygen, so that's why from the atmosphere towards their body, the gas oxygen will diffuse inside. It binds with the hemoglobin, then it will form a compound. What is that known as? This is known as oxyhemoglobin, right? So oxyhemoglobin is formed. So as this oxyhemoglobin is formed in this region, they will move to the next ventral blood vessel by this commissures, right? Then this ventral blood vessel will distribute this oxygen to various parts of their body. Take this carbon dioxide. Once again, this is moving from the different parts of the body, is now here HbCO2, they will diffuse outside. Okay, so this way they will have the respiration. Now after forming this oxyhemoglobin, what will happen after that? This oxyhemoglobin is moving towards the region of the tissue. In the tissue, they will take the oxygen and remove the carbon dioxide. So they will take this oxygen and give carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide is taken by 1 second. This hemoglobin form carbaminohemoglobin, come from the different parts of the body to the dorsal blood vessel. Then from the dorsal blood vessel it will go to outside as the partial pressure difference is there. So what will happen? Carbon dioxide is diffused outside. Then after that, 1 second, due to the partial pressure differences, oxygen is diffused inside their body. Take this oxygen inside it, hemoglobin binds with the oxygen, it forms an unstable compound that is known as oxyhemoglobin. This oxyhemoglobin is transporting to the different parts of the body via the commissural vessels, and from the commissural vessels to the ventral blood vessel, and from the smaller blood vessels it will go to the different parts of the body. So this way the respiration is taking place. For respiration, they don't have any specific type of organs. This is the skin itself who perform respiration. So what type of respiration they will have if the skin is performing respiration? This is cutaneous respiration. And by what mechanism gases are entering inside their body? That is the diffusion process. Their skin, to act as a respiratory membrane, that skin should be thin, moist, and the skin should be thin, moist and vascular. Okay, so their skin is thin, moist and vascular. Because of that they can respirate. Okay, so that's why what happened, their skin, if you see, it's not rough, this is always moist, right? That means from the dorsal pore, remember I told you that in the segment of septum of the 12th and 13th segment, what they have, the dorsal pore, from the dorsal pore the coelomic fluid is oozing outside. Okay, and also their skin epidermal cell have the glands, so those glands will produce that mucus, keep that skin very much moist so that diffusion can be possible. And in that extreme, suppose in the rainy season, what happened, their holes where they actually are living, the holes are filled with water, so they have to come back to the land on the surface of the surface of the soil. So what will happen, in the surface of the soil they are now found. In that period of time, if suppose there is a heat or the sun is there, then in this condition, in extreme sunlight, what happened, their skin get rough, okay, or it's dried up. So if their skin get dried up, they die. Okay, so this skin is very much important performing their respiration. The skin is thin, moist and vascular, then only it is possible that they can perform respiration, right? So this is about the circulation and respiration. Hope you have understood. This is important also. Remember, in case of their circulation, this is very much well developed. Okay, circulation is very much well developed. Why? Because in case of them, they have what type of respiration? What type of circulation? Closed circulation. Why? They have the blood vessel. What type of respiration they have? Cutaneous respiration. By means of the skin, what characteristics should be present in the skin to perform respiration? That is thin, moist and vascular. Remember that. Next one, by what process this respiration is actually taking place? By the normal diffusion from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration. They are not wasting any energy so that they can respirate. Okay, in case of us, we have to expend lots of energy for just respirate. In case of them, for respiration, no energy is required. Just by the simple diffusion from the higher concentration to the lower concentration, gases are taken. So that's all about the respiration and circulation. Hope you have understood. Thank you.